If you only met him for 5 minutes, you would remember him. And you can't say that about a lot of people.
He was the kind of guy that if he decided to lead a charge spontaneously, people would file behind him.
He's really had an impact. He's really inspired a lot of people. We don't always choose the kind of hero that we want to be.
It's now believed that the terrorists on Flight 93 intended to crash the airplane into the United States Capitol where I work. I may very well owe my life to Mark.
Mark was a fierce and avid rugby player.
He was in your face. He would take that ball and God help you get in his way.
The last team with which Mark played was a team of 45 men and women. And the field they played on was not a wide and grassy rugby field. It was a narrow cabin and cockpit of a Boeing 757 hurtling over the Pennsylvania countryside.
We know Mark did something even before there was reports about it. We know Mark did something. And here's 10 stories that I know personally about Mark, about how he jumped into dangerous ways to protect people.
I'm sure you heard the story of when he was mugged and he disarmed the gun and beat up the two muggers until they ran away scared. I mean, you know, he's the guy who got gored in running with the bulls in Spain and enjoyed it and wants to go back and do it again. I don't think he has really a sense of reality with respect to danger. He handled it.
Oh my God.
I saw Statue of Liberty, I saw Ellis Island, and I'm deeply in love. And that's about it. All the good stuff. Yay.
Mark and I had a very private relationship. The events of the last few weeks have changed all that, but I'm so proud of what has been told and revealed.
The fact that he was gay and a national hero, I think, is an important message. But the fact that he was willing to give up his life for people he didn't know is a more important message.
It's ironic that he's kind of become this gay hero, I think, to a lot of people. It's the last thing Mark would have wanted. When I was interviewed after 9/11 and talking about Mark, and people asked the gay question and asked me to elaborate on it, I always just said, the only thing that this shows is that whenever groups of Americans act heroically, there may or may not be gay people among them. Period.
I'm gay, and I never told anyone. And I was watching CNN one day, and they were interviewing Alice. The more I read about Mark, I saw more similarities we both had. I came across his eulogy written by his friend Todd. There's a line in the eulogy, and I carried it around with me. Do not let the fear of rejection keep you from showing up every day of your life. And that's what I was doing. I was being honest with myself or my friends or my family. And I contacted Alice, and she talked me through this. I sat down with my friends, and I told them I was gay. I never dreamt 5 years later that Mark, the man who saved everybody in the White House or the Capitol, saved me, and directly. And he's a hero.
The fact that he is seen as a hero is, I can just picture Mark wherever he happens to be, going, hey, talking about me, talking about me. Just like, he would be overwhelmed at the response.
Today we celebrate Mark's life and keep his memory alive as we dedicate the Mark Bingham Recreation Center. Whether as a small child deciding on his own identity or charging into the cockpit of Flight 93, Mark's courage will not be forgotten.
I know that we all miss him. Not a day goes by that is not affected by the loss and the lack of my son. Today, though, is a day of joy for coming together in thanksgiving for the life of Mark Bingham. On the last day of his life, he was able to rally together with a handful of very plucky men and helps to save hundreds of lives on the ground just by speaking up, showing some courage, showing some teamwork. He taught me how to live my life, and I'll be forever in his shadow. I loved him. I always will.